There we go.
Now we're live.
Okay, good.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Intuitive Angel Facebook Live show.
You almost said that right. What can I say?
Wish Dream Sparkle. Because I was thinking of Wish Dream Sparkle and it came out Facebook.
Facebook. No,
Very
it's the
strange.
Intuitive Angel radio show, but really it's a Facebook Live show.
And it's a TV show, I like to think.
I like to think about that.
Anyway, what are we doing today? We're doing aura assessments, hand-drawn, personalized aura assessments that you do for your clients all the time.
Right. One of the things I believe is that before you can move forward and understand what's happening to you, you have to look at what you're dealing with. You know, what are the rules of your life? What describes you? So I always tell people who are in my intuition classes that they should go and they should have go to bookstore, go into the psychology department and get every single personality assessment test that they can lay their hands on. Because when you do that, when you get the personality assessment test, you know who you are, where you are, what you're doing. Okay, so I'm just checking to see if we're actually on or not. I don't think so.
Well, we are.
We are. Can you see
We're
it
live.
here?
I can see it there.
Okay, well, hi there, everybody. Anyway, figuring out who you are and what you care about and what you love is really, thank you. Thumbs up, yes, we're live. Is really important to being able to access your intuition, because that way you don't get screwed up. I've had really some pretty amazing intuitive experiences in my lifetime, but it's not because I'm special, it's because I set myself up for it and I understand my own personality. For instance, my own personality is to think really deep, to get really involved in things and not move forward as quickly as I should. And so I realize when I'm stalling, it's not the spirits that are stalling, it's me. And I realize that I should listen. So if the angel said, move now I don't even ask, I just get up and move now. So I want to tell everybody I'm so excited about a miracle. So every once in a while, miracles really do happen in people's lives. And for many of you, you know that since August 10th, I have not been able to walk. I had a really bad accident and I crushed my pelvis and broke my femur. And it takes a really long time and many screws and bolts and things like that to put me back together again. Last night, I had one of those dreams. And dreams are funny because usually you don't remember them. That's just the way it goes. So usually you wake up and they're there first thing. That's why we say write them down. But when you have a vision while you're laying down and kind of asleep, it's different. Because you wake up and it's right there in front of you and it doesn't go away. So this particular vision was an angel came to me and told me that I should get up and walk. Now I kind of know how those people, when there's a miracle and they say, go ahead and walk, and they look at the healer like, what the hell? So I was like, sure, right, I can't walk. At best, I was able to hobble with a cane. But I decided that instead of arguing, I would just get up and walk. So I got up and I walked. It's not necessarily pretty, but I am walking and without any bracing or anything like that. And I'm taking it easy because I don't want to hurt all those muscles that haven't been used, but I sure as heck can walk and I can carry things with both hands and I don't worry about falling down. So yay! And so that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about what you can do to clear yourself so the miracles that are always around you are always there. That's what's so important. And you just have to get rid of the crazy rules that don't no longer serve you, that you run your life with. So we're going to begin, and we're going to start with these aura assessments. So here is the picture. So this is a little chakra guy, and if you are picked to get your reading and you'd like a picture of this with the colors and things that I'm going to put in, you can just text me at 630-554, right up there, 5040. That's Vanna in the back. And I'll be glad to take a picture of it and text it to you so that you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. The color at the top of the drawing is the color you're dealing with right now. Sometimes I write the name in two colors because those are the ones that strike me. Can I see auras? Yes. Yes, I can actually see the colors. I've been able to do it for maybe like 20 years now. But to tell you the truth, I can move so fast that I don't really even need to see them. So some of you may feel colors or have an intuition or a knowing about a certain color. Some people actually taste colors, like blue will be blueberries to them. Don't worry about it. All you have to do is do a little guy like this, okay? And this tells what the various chakras are about. And then you just begin. I make spirals, and the spirals indicate that those are areas of energy that either are doing really good or that needs some help in your aura. So we're going to begin so you kind of get the idea. Okay, Dave, who's first?
Who is first? I'll tell you who's first. Patrick is first. Only because he was born on 3/29/59. You know what 3/29 is?
The day before, after, or during your birthday?
It is my birthday.
It is your birthday.
San Bernardino, California is where he's from.
Okay, so Patrick's color is a brick red. What that means is, and I'm making lots and lots of little circles off to the left-hand side on the drawing, so I'm going to show you. And it means that the women in his life are giving him a hard time. So there are lots of circles in red means that your bones are not supported. So the first chakra is about your bones. It's about the energy that's available to you to maintain your physical structure. So with many, many different circles around his left foot, it means that women are giving him a hard time. And that he's wasting way too much energy giving their thoughts and complaints energy. You know, like if somebody says something like, I need a car, or I need you to pay attention to me, and you worry about it all the time, you're going to lose your physical structure. So Patrick, if you want to stay healthy, one of the things you're going to have to do is you're going to have to take all of these women who are at you, and well, lately I'm all about sending flowers. So in your mind's eye, you can send flowers. For real, you can actually send flowers. What you're doing is you're saying, I'm not going to play anymore. So when you send flowers, if you make a message on Facebook or something, I send you flowers, I'm saying, good for you. I love what you're saying, but I'm not going to play. I'm just going to surround you with flowers. Just like way back in the 60s when I was a hippie, and we went outside of many of the different political conventions and places like that and just handed out peace, love, you know. Well, peace, love actually works because you cannot go against somebody who's not going against you. You know, you can't do it. You have to, it neutralizes everything. It just means I love you, I care about you, but right now I'm not going to play. So flowers is a good idea for Patrick. The second color that he has is green, and it's around his heart chakra, so you can see the heart chakra there. So the green, what that means is that he's protecting himself. There's some little tears down at the side, so I put the little tears, and it means that in the past he's been hurt. Now, to tell you the truth, in the traditional chakra chart, green is the normal heart color. For the people I deal with, actually, pink is a little more normal because they're the crystal children, the golden children, whatever, they came in with hearts that believed that things could be perfect. So how many of you out there believe that things can be better? If you do, if you believe that things can be better, then most likely you have pink heart energy. So in Patrick's case, he does, but he's swirled it around with green. And when you take green, okay, it means that you're protecting yourself. So my little granddaughter right now, Nola, she loves everybody. I mean, honest to God, Quasimodo could come in, you know, and she would just say, I love you so much, because she's 4. When she gets to be about 5 and she starts preschool or she goes to school, all of a sudden people will start talking to her about other. So other means not our family, not the tribe, not the people that we agree that we like, okay? So that's when prejudice hits right around that time. And your heart energy actually traditionally changes from that pink energy of the child to a more sedate green energy, and then depending on how that pale green, like in Patrick's, is pretty much normal. As it gets darker and darker, all the way to a very dark pea green, then you become very narcissistic or you only see yourself, you don't see anybody else. Okay, so Patrick still sees people, but he's not actually being the person he can be. So he needs to work on his heart energy. And how you do that is you just imagine bubble gum, you know, the pink bubble gum, and you just breathe in the energy of the pink, and then you breathe it out again, and then you breathe it in again, and you breathe it out again. Every time you think about it, you do it for like 3 or 4 times, and it expands that natural pink energy that's in the middle, and it gets rid of your reservations. So you act instead of by the rules of your family, you begin to act by the rules of your own heart. That's really beautiful. And then lastly, Patrick has an opening of intuition, and I'll show you what that looks like. So at the top of his head, he has some intuitive energy swirling.
I can't see that. Can you put it closer? There you go.
Okay, he has some intuitive energy swirling. When it's like that, so close to the third eye, he might actually get headaches. It's important for him to understand, for all of you to understand, that intuition is now, we're evolving. So instead of having the red tribal energy be the basic energy we're born with, the new babies, and many of you who are alive right now, are shifting to have intuition be the basis. Because you actually can't live in this world. There's really too much information without using intuition. You have to know what to believe and what not to believe, and who to align yourself with, and what to do today. And frankly, you can't make a list because everything's changing constantly. So you have to begin relying on your gut. So the new first chakra is going to be intuition. So it's good that Patrick's having this awakening in his head. And not only that, but the color purple has a tendency towards pink on his. I have different pencils I can choose. So that color is towards pink. So it means his intuition is going to be colored by love. How nice. So his job is to get rid of the things that are draining him, to open up his heart, and to pay attention to his intuition. Okay.
Alrighty. Can we...
Patrick, really close.
There you go. Up. There you go. Okay.
Okay,
you.
so Patrick, if you want, just text me, 630-554-5040.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, this is our first time doing this with the visual thing.
Yeah.
And we did radio for, so many years.
We couldn't do visual.
So this is this. Well, I remember one of the things in radio that was the biggest rule was one of the last things you ever want to say on radio is, "Hey, look at this." Remember that?
Yeah, I know. I've had people who
we
did
had
that
people
on
that
radio.
did that on radio.
Yeah.
Hey, look at this.
It was tough.
It was funny. But anyway, so I want to remind everybody also, don't forget, tomorrow, the 2nd of February, that's Thursday tomorrow, and with a repeat class on Friday, February 3rd from 7 to 9 is Amy's Mediumship and Psychic Development class. And again, it's by donation.
Yep.
It doesn't cost anything. It's just whatever you feel like giving. And of course, you're going to be doing a 5 to 10 minute meditation technique you'll be showing people.
I will. And we're working on, I know so many of you live all over the world, so I'm working on being able to do the classes. Facebook Live is going to have sort of a private Facebook Live where I can just do the classes online under Facebook Live. But meanwhile, we're looking at other formats, and I should have it together by next week. So
Okay.
then you'll be able to take these wonderful classes instead of having to come all the way out to the U.S. or all the way out to Oswego.
Yeah, Diane Lynn was asking about that.
Right. I know
Okay.
Diane Lynn, it's a long ride for you.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Well, next up we have, this is number 2, Karen Marie.
Okay.
She was born March 22nd, 1981 in Oklahoma.
So Karen Marie has the classic 2-color aura. So when you see an aura, it's like a giant egg all around people, and then there's a primary color that's playing all over the egg, and then there's secondary little pops of color. Sometimes there's something moving through it. It just depends. So with Karen Marie, she has almost an equal amount of red and blue swirling. And her color blue, which is a lighter color blue, means a connection to the divine. When I see this, I often think, so it's big and it's sparkly. So that's what she looks like with her head open there. It's that connection to oneness. So if you're, I'm going to have to explain a little bit later, but the chakras are rearranging themselves. So now instead of the red for the first chakra, what you're having is purple for intuition, and then the second one, which would be who am I, is not yellow like it used to, or orange like it used to be. It's this beautiful blue color. So Karen Marie has an opening of understanding how she fits in the universe, which is called oneness, which has been around for a while. There's such a thing as a oneness blessing. Beyond that wonderful oneness comes this amazing knowing that you're limitless. And that's just so fantastic. And that you can really move and create your own reality. So I'll be doing a whole class on the new chakras in a couple of weeks once I get it all fixed. But Karen Marie has a dichotomy. So she has a lot on the male side of energy down in the old first chakra, which is fighting with the oneness. So in other words, she's feeling this feeling of oneness, but she still has to wash the clothes and take care of the kids. And oneness can sometimes have you sitting around drooling on yourself. Well, it doesn't work in a materialistic world, right? But it does, because the new oneness works because your intuition tells you that you have to do the laundry, that you have to tidy up the kitchen. Your intuition will keep you online rather than the rules your mother taught you. There's a lot of evidence right now that people with messy desks are not evil. But in my day, every night when you went home from work, when I worked in a corporate situation, you shoveled all your stuff into an empty desk drawer so that your desk would be completely tidy. You never left anything on top. It wasn't allowed. My mother, one time when she was in her 80s, she came over to the house and she climbed up on a chair in her 80s and put her hand across the top of my china cabinet to see if it had dust. It did, because I wasn't a good housewife. I didn't dust the top of my china cabinet. And when she looked and she had her finger all covered with dust, I knew I was in for it. But that kind of a rule in Karen Marie's life now doesn't apply. So Karen Marie has to kind of get it together about what she's going to do, what makes her feel happy, what's a rule that doesn't serve her anymore, and how she can honor that feeling of oneness. And then lastly, in her drawing, the intuition is really, really strong. But in her case, her intuition, and I'll show you what that looks like, it's opening up her third eye up here, and then all around it there's lots of different intuitive hits, so she may be getting confused. Intuition isn't tidy and linear, so those of you out there who've had a vision, right, it might be a vision, lead my people to God or something, and you go like, okay, well, sure, how do I start? Unfortunately, they don't give you a template for how to start, so you run around looking at who did what when, and you try to start by being like some of the historical figures, when actually you can start right in your own kitchen by sending someone a thank you note or telling someone you love them. It's really pretty simple. So in Karen Marie's case, her intuition is telling her all kinds of different things she should do. She should go out into the world and be popular, and she should be famous, and but she has to still be a good mother, and she has all these issues. When the truth is that she can do all those things with grace and love. So Karen Marie, you're part of oneness. You can do many different things simultaneously with grace and love. You'll know through your intuition what to give, what amount of energy to give to each thing, and you're not going to be tied down by your mother's rules anymore. Sorry, Karen Marie's mother. Okay, this is what the whole thing looks like, so you can see. Okay, and so Karen Marie, if you want a copy of this, you can just text us at 630-554-5040.
All right. And hey, somebody on the liner notes there, welcome to the show, Lillian. It's your first time watching.
Hi, Lillian. Good to see you.
Lillian. Thank you for joining us.
I'm glad you joined us.
All right. Hey, we're going to go to one of my favorite places in the world. This is our good friend Molly from Austin, Texas. And I think you already have Molly's information.
I do.
Do you not?
Okay. So, Molly, your color is dark blue, and what that is in the throat. It's being able to communicate and to tell things the way you actually see them, not the way you think other people want to see them. So in this case, there's several different layers, and I'll show you what it looks like. So Molly is having a difficult time distinguishing her truth. When your throat is like that, sometimes it affects your throat, so you can't speak. I just recently was writing classes, and as I began trying to write all the classes and containerize everything I've ever taught, I saw that my teachings were old-fashioned, dang, and my throat closed shut because I couldn't communicate. So I had a really hard time and a really bad cold, and I was it really affects you. It's almost like you can't breathe because suddenly everything you've known that was true, you realize you were walking a party line, and that the new way of looking at it, it still contains all the material, but it's a new way to look at it. Okay, so knowing that now the intuition chakra is the first chakra, that was really crazy. But anytime you're at the beginning of a change, it is crazy. That's why you're called a pioneer. So I have a story for Molly. I had a company many years ago that was called Pioneer Fish. Unfortunately, nobody understood what it was about. But there was a study done where they took tropical fish and they put glass down in the middle of the tank. So at first, all the fish, you've seen them in school, they would school around and follow the leader. They put the glass down, and then it divided them into two groups. And so each group picked a leader, and then they would follow the leader, and they would school around. And so it was as if there was two tanks. Then the experimenters pulled the glass up, and they still stayed in their two groups. Isn't that crazy? They didn't move until one curious little fish kind of swam up to where the glass used to be, swam back, swam up, swam back, and then just went through because he realized there was no glass. Within minutes of him doing that, everybody else said, hey, look, Ralph swam through, there's no glass there, and everybody began milling around and then schooling as one again. That's what Molly's facing right now, because she's got to change the way it used to be and say it in a different way. And since I know Molly's involved in music, she might be able to say it musically, she might be able to look a little bit different and not worry so much about what's always been done. It's a nice thing about being around when there's somebody who's making crazy changes, right? We hate the changes that are out there, but those crazy changes open the door for everybody to be a little bit crazy, which is called Renaissance. It means you move forward. So Molly, move forward. Her second biggest energy area, and I'm going to put it down at the lower level, is intuition. So in her case, her intuition is affecting her gut thinking. So just like me, when I had my blockage, okay, so there you go. Just like me, when I couldn't believe that what I was teaching needed to be updated. Same thing happens with Molly, because she's evolved. So her intuition now is in her gut, in her belly. And it's driving her forward, but she keeps trying to suppress it, which is, there's a problem. And then lastly, it's an explosion above her head, looks like this, which is connection to God. So that means that she needs to trust the divine. So when she moves into oneness, oneness teaches you something. It teaches you flow. If you can't be in oneness, you'll never get flow, which means you'll never become, you never have that wonderful limitless feeling so that you can move things in any which one direction. So Molly has to, anything, go to church, learn to pray, elevate her thoughts, read something difficult, anything to get her in connected to that oneness, and then trust the oneness with her intuition. If you do have a reading with me, usually I like to start with doing a full drawing of you, which includes many more chakras and many more circles. But this is just for the show. We're just doing the 3 primary ones. Okay. Okie dokie.
All right. You're done?
Yes.
Okay. All righty. Next up, we have Dan. He was born in San Bernardino, California as well as our earlier guy, October 24th, 1956.
Okay, so Dan has that purpley pink color. And Dan is having an issue with, and I happen to know a little bit about the issue, because when people write, what do I do? And they'll usually have a particular question. So I'm going to answer Dan's question. Dan has been not liking his job. So he has right now a variety of different offers, okay, that have wonderful possibilities to them, but they're the kind of offers that are like recruiter-based offers, which means they're not actually offers. They're kind of pretend things where you haven't actually gotten an offer yet, but they like dangle it in front of you. Like, I mean, if somebody said, "Hey, Amy, you want to be Madonna?" I go, "Wow, I want to be up on stage and have thousands of adoring fans," except not maybe now. But anyway, it's that same kind of a thing. So the thing is to become more grounded and to use your intuition. So he's got two separate intuitive energies working. Let's see if I can find my right color here. Pink with love. What's he going to do with love? And then the grounding energy of the red, the tribal energy. So in his case, he is thinking about his heart, what's going to satisfy his heart. He asked, like, what location should I have? Or should I go for the one with more money? Those are normal questions that people ask because they're yearning for solutions to their problems. But the truth is that you should go, and here it is balanced out, with what touches your heart and what touches your budget. So a job that is something totally that would disgust you every day is not a good job to go for. You want one where you can look forward to the job, look forward to the work, have a good time, and feel honored. So it has to also touch your heart. That's number one. Number two is that the willpower to be able to discern what's the best job for you comes not from potential. So here's will. Okay, not from the potential, but from the reality of a choice between jobs. Right now, he just has the thought. So the thought gets you going, and it throws you off track. I was a recruiter for many years back in the 80s when everybody wanted jobs. And I had so many people, I'd say, here, there's these 3 job openings, and then they call me and say, I don't even want to interview for one. And I think to myself, wow, that's crazy, because you never know until you get the job offer, until they say you start on Monday and I'm going to give you X amount of money and your office is going to be this and that. Because the recruiter is just selling a dream. You want to interview for every single job that you possibly can, so then you can sort out the details of all of the offers and make the wisest choice with your heart and with your tribe. Got it? Okay, Dan, I hope that helps. Take care.
All right. Hey, I want to remind everybody also that we have picked and are continuing to pick all the people that get the aura assessments randomly. Okay, so that way everybody has an equal chance. Okay, I write everybody down and then I kind of close my eyes and point, and that's who gets it. Okay, so just know that. So if we don't do that, remember you're also going to get one card 7-day reading if you don't get your aura assessment.
Right. So in order just to be timely, we're doing a certain amount of aura assessments, and then we're going to switch over to the 1-card readings. I know some of you wanted both, so we'll see how that works. Okay.
We'll do our best. We'll do our best. Okay. Next up, we have Mary, August 10th, 1958, from Oak Park, Illinois, and she says, "Thanks so much, Amy."
Okay, Mary. So your color so you'll see your name is in this color, and it's that color of blue. In this case, blue and speaking your truth is access to your creativity. So you have an explosion in your throat, but it's not so much about telling people off as it is coming up with actionable creative ideas that are going to actually honor you and your family and your friends. So you're probably having some right shoulder problems because there's so many ideas that you have. And the best way to sort through ideas is, guess what? To use your intuition. All ideas are always good. I mean, creativity is, I think, our highest form of worship. When we come up with these wonderful thoughts that we might be able to do, that we can help others, we can help ourselves. But we need to use some discernment we need to have a balance, and not the kind of balance where you listen to your mother's rules, but the kind of balance where you use your intuition and you actually ask. I'm going to be teaching in a couple weeks a class on channeling. We have numerous guides and angels around us all the time. We're never ever abandoned, honestly. There's people like myself and other people who you can call and ask. There, you can text us, you can ask for a reading on the reading, you can do a private reading. You're not alone in making these decisions. I just want you to know there's so many healers and wonderful people and groups out there that you can go to that are going to help you. In Mary's case, her intuition is a little bit off to the left. Okay, so you can see her intuition is off to the left. That means that she's using typical feminine thinking, if there can be such a thing. But she's being practical about the possibilities in her life. Maybe things haven't worked out in the past. Maybe she doesn't want to exactly do what her creative drive is telling her. So then she has to think of a way to integrate. So her big thing right now is heart, and she has a pink heart. So the heart isn't really about romantic love like everybody thinks. The heart is about integration. So that's what her third thing looks like with the heart, if you can see that pink there. My little 4-year-old Nola does not know that she's limited. She doesn't know. She sees something, like she was helping me with this kind of difficult puzzle, and she couldn't quite find a piece. And then she said, I'm going to look at it different, Nana. I'm going to look at the shape of the piece instead of the color. And she found a piece. She found her one piece. She got up and left and went and watched television. Because she completed what she started out to do, which was to place a piece. So sometimes when you get these ideas, what you're starting out to do is just to place a piece. Like be the person who calls the committee together. You don't have to run the committee. Be the person who has an idea, who shares it with the community, and then sees whether or not the community wants to pick up on it. Be the person who donates land or time or whatever. You don't have to run the project, but we always think a little bit differently, don't we? So, Mary, it's all coming together. You're going to be fine. Your creativity is high. Your heart is telling you what to do, and your intuition is pointing you in the right direction. Take care. All right.
Thank you very much there. We appreciate it so much, Mary. Okay, let's see. Who's next? Audrey is next.
All right.
Audrey was born in Chicago, Illinois, 1961. She lives in the suburb of Yorkville now. I guess town of Yorkville is not really a suburb, but... Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Audrey has bright yellows.
Bright yellow, you can't even tell, yeah.
Bright yellows. So that's actually third chakra, and it's the ability to know, see yourself in the eyes of the outside world, and to see how really powerful you are. Sometimes as we get older, and when was Audrey born again?
Audrey was born in 1961.
Oh, Audrey,
so she said.
Anyway, when you get to a certain age, you begin to feel marginalized. But you know what? Nowadays, actually, you're not. But you're feeling that way. My mother once told me I had a job and I wanted to quit, and I was 50. All right. And my mother said, no, you have to stay on your job, because at 50, no one will ever hire you anyplace else. So who out there has heard that, right? That's an old song. My mother felt that at 50, you become almost marginalized to the point of invisibility, especially if you're a woman. But it doesn't work that way anymore. So in Audrey's case, she has a very strong potential for making a lot of money, because yellow is about promises, contracts, and vows. So that means that you're moving towards entering into a good contract. It could mean that you're entering into a contractual relationship. When you enter into a relationship with someone, you expect them to do certain things, like take out the garbage, right? No offense. You expect them to do what's been agreed upon in the relationship. And oftentimes we just suck it up and do it for people, right? Audrey is going to make good, clear rules, whether or not it's a job or a relationship, and she's going to have good contracts, which is very, very exciting. Next, Audrey is now operating out of, ta-da, pink heart energy. So the pink heart, the child, which in the past has been such a problem, right? So you can see the pink there around your heart. When you looked at things like a child, everybody said, well, you're never going to get anywhere. You know, you're just going to be disappointed because the child always sets themselves up for a fall. So in Audrey's case, the child energy that she's feeling is actually going to make her more powerful, because it's going to, thank you everyone, it's going to open up that intuitive arena for her. And the intuition for her is in both sides. It's up at the top, and then it's down at the bottom. So if there's some problem with your left foot, you can see it's all around her foot down there, it's going to be healed, because now your energy is beginning to flow throughout your whole body. And so this intuition is going to put you in the right direction to make the good contracts, and your beautiful heart energy is going to ensure that they're going to turn out perfectly. Take care, Audrey.
All right. Thank you, Audrey. Appreciate it. Okay. Next up, we have. Wow. That's strange. Hold on, real quick. Hold on. Just a second here. Just a second here. Okay, hold on.
Okay, darn.
Please hold on. Hold on. Okay, next up we have Lillian. This is Lillian that was the new person, and I wrote her thing down.
Okay.
February 27th, 1959, in Albion, Michigan.
Hi, Lillian. Okay. Okay.
That's so weird that she came up like that. Cool, man.
That is very, very cool. Okay, Dave. I don't know what I'd do without you, actually. He's my Ed McMahon.
Oh,
or who's
you're
I
right,
don't know
man.
any of the new ones.
Yeah, I don't know either. I just know the old ones.
So anyway, Lillian, this is a lot of new energy in your second chakra area. It means that you're working on what are you going to do when you grow up. Too bad. We all have that, actually. We all have that sometimes. What are we going to do when we grow up? In your case, there's, you're almost, okay. When I see a lot of energy in the second chakra area where there's a lot of different personalities, it usually indicates to me that as a child, you might not have felt heard or safe. So you had to take on different roles. So sometimes it means that you became invisible and you were this child for this adult and that child for another adult. Sometimes it means you took on all the responsibilities of the family, so you had to take on these adult roles. But what it causes is a kind of a hiccup in who the heck am I anyway when you get older. So it's a little bit difficult for you to decide exactly which direction to go in, because you're still nourishing all these different personalities. It's not like Three Faces of Eve or anything like that. It's normal. In your case, though, there is a health hazard to it, and that is the two little dots over to the side. So you can see the two little dots. They indicate a propensity towards sugar imbalance. I can't tell whether it's too much sugar or too little sugar in your body, but they both have actually the same results. You get sweats, you get dizzy out of the blue, and eating actually helps. So in your case, one of the things to do is to hydrate. It means that the sugar doesn't necessarily get through to your cells. So either your pancreas is making way too much insulin, or you need to have way too much sugar in your diet. So the cells need to be more hydrated. So it's not like the new agey people running around with their water bottle, but at least 8 8-ounce glasses a day are going to really help you. And it is very good to use something like Gatorade or Powerade. If you don't like the chemicals in those things, you can get something called Cera, Ceralalyte, Ceralalyte, which is the hospital grade Gatorade. You can get it online. And it's going to greatly improve your health and greatly improve your deciding which way to go. With it like it is right now, and there's a large circle on the outside, you might actually be thinking of making a life move. so you can see the circle there. You might be thinking of making some kind of a life move, going back to school, taking a course online. I will say there's a change now, and this is one of the reasons I went back to school myself. Google, for instance, has vowed to hire 15% of their entire staff worldwide without college degrees. The reason they're doing this is they find that the people who have struggled and worked so hard to get college degrees have so much debt, they're under so much stress, right? Not only that, that sometimes they have a narrowing of their attitudes or their viewpoints about what they can do, and they're thinking that by hiring people with just just high school diplomas, that they're going to be able to train them and move them into new ways of thinking that aren't, they're not taught to be rigid, they're going to teach them how to be open-minded. Isn't that exciting? So back in my day, if you didn't have your college degree, you were nothing. And I talked to one of my teacher clients, and she said, oh my God, if I go back to get my master's degree, it's going to cost me $50,000. And I'll get a $1,000 or $2,000 a year bump. So that means I have to wait another 25 years, and she was already in her 40s, in order to get paid back for that master's degree so I could have that bigger title. When it doesn't make sense, it just doesn't make sense. So you can take, instead of going back to traditional school, you can take courses online. It's pretty exciting what they have out there. You can learn different areas that appeal to you, like how to use social media, what to do. And then there's lots and lots of small business people like me who would hire you. Okay, now there's two more colors here for her. One is the yellow. It's off to the side, which means it's not quite here yet. But there's some kind of abundance coming, and I would say February, March, April, sometime in May. There's going to be an influx of money, which is always really nice. So that could maybe pay for that school. And then lastly, she needs to pay attention to her visions. You know, that sounds funny, doesn't it? But when she gets ideas, all of this has led her to be more open to intuition. But sometimes when you're protecting yourself, you're not quite strong enough to bring it into reality. So write it in a book. I have actually several journals. I get so many ideas all the time, and I've just taken to writing them down, and then once a week I go over them all. And I will say that most of them fall into place, you know, like maybe 3 of them go together or 4 of them go together. And so this way I'm not running around like a chicken. So it's pretty exciting. So I'm glad you tuned in, Lillian. This is you.
All righty.
Okay.
Thanks, Lillian. And we got a bunch of first timers.
Cool.
And we have some old friends too. So again, if you don't hear your name and if we get past the 12, don't worry about it. We're still doing 1-card readings for you. So
okay,
please.
Yay.
All right. Next up we have Joanne. Joanne was born March 28th, 1952 in Wisconsin. She says, thanks, you two. No, thank you, Joanne.
And what was the year?
1952.
Okay, Joanne, this is a question of willpower. In her throat, she has a very dark blue. It's where you don't know which direction to move in, so therefore you can't will it, right? And in this case, instead of creativity, when it's stuck there in your throat, it's being able to manifest, to move forward, to know what the truth is for you, and to use that truth to move forward. Sometimes, Carolyn Mays tells a story about being there with a French woman at a conference someplace, and when she looked at her, she had no energy whatsoever in her throat, and she was smoking cigarette after cigarette. And she said, yes, they've diagnosed me with cancer, but I can't stop smoking. And Carolyn said she didn't have enough energy in her throat chakra to make that decision to save herself, to help herself by quitting smoking. She had 0 willpower. So that's what Joanne is working on. Not that she has 0, she actually has kind of an explosion of willpower. She just has to put it in the right direction. And the right direction is most likely to get some kind of meaningful contract. So the next color she has is yellow.
Point that, you can't see it.
Yellow.
There it is, there it is. Okay.
Yellow is always hard to see. So the yellow means that it doesn't have to be a contract where she goes to work and to make money. but it has to be some kind of contract that defines her. So she could be the best darn grandma, she could be the best nana, she could go back to work part-time, she could be customer service rep and work from home. She just has to do something and define herself for the time being. And when you define yourself like that, you define yourself, say for 6 months, and then you up the contract again, you know. So that's what Joanne needs to do. And then lastly, with Joanne, she has her pink heart is being activated. So she's going back to being the child. And one of the things she has to do, she has little circles around her pink heart, is practice forgiveness. When I see the little circles there, it means that some of the things that are blocking her is past hurts. And so how does one practice forgiveness? Well, you imagine that it's a balloon and you just let it go. Instead of getting all really, the English say, get your knickers in a knot, right? Instead of getting your knickers in a knot and worrying about it and fussing over it, when it comes to your mind that somebody's wronged you or you've wronged somebody, all really you have to do is just imagine it's a helium balloon and you're cutting it and it's going back to God. Just let it go. And that way everything else opens up so that your heart can manage to open up all these wonderful areas, have you make good decisions, and have you know what your place is in the world. Okay, Joanne, take care.
All right. Thank you, Joanne. We appreciate it very much. Okay. Next up we have Stevie.
Okay.
And she was born April 30th, 1980 from Dixon, Illinois.
4/30, 1980?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and Dixon.
Excuse
Okay,
me.
Stevie, you are being constrained by tribal energy. Tribal energy is, it always begins with, by rights you should. That's a problem, right? So there's a story I tell with tribal energy, and that's a little caveman named Ugg asks his father Erg what's on the other side of the mountain, and his father Erg says, don't even ask that question. Our people don't go there. There'll be dragons there. You don't want to go to the other side of the mountain. A couple years go by, and Ugg says to Erg, you know, Dad, I dream about the other side of the mountain. I really want to go. And his father says, if you go to the other side of the mountain, we won't pack you a lunch. Because the tribe controls food. And that's really pretty primary there. Will you eat? Will you starve to death? Will you be okay? Will you be living on the streets? What's going to happen? That's what the tribe controls. So finally, Ugg goes, and he says, heck with it. I'm going to pack my own lunch. I'm going to go to the other side of the mountain. And when he gets there, he finds this beautiful, abundant valley. He makes wonderful friends. And then they hear through the grapevine that the old tribal location has stopped producing. There's not enough animals and game, and the ground is worn out, and so they're not getting crops. So he goes back over the mountain, gets his whole tribe, and saves them. When you move forward and make a decision to move away from the tribe, you're going to save them. So go ahead and don't pay much attention to all of the good wisdom of your parents. Sorry, Stevie Lynn's parents. And just go out there and have yourself, not a merry little time, that song just came to mind, but go ahead and have the adventure, and know, actually, in your case, that your tribe will always take you back, will always help you, and that there's a lot of people out there in the world who love you and who want you to have your adventures, because you're going to learn so much and you're going to begin to share it with us. The second energy, of course, that goes along with that is, who am I? So in your case, there's an explosion in the middle, so I'll show everyone. So the who am I is this explosion, and you're not going to know until you set your feet on that path. Although I will say, it'll probably be around April or the end of April from where it's placed that you'll have a pretty good idea of what you're going to be doing for the next year or two. And that training that you get is going to greatly help you to be even more adventuresome. And then here, one of the things I will say is that because you have a very high level of creativity, you want to get something that's going to honor your creative thinking. So something that's very boring or that doesn't allow for a lot of input really isn't where you want to be. You want to be somewhere where your exciting thoughts and dreams can have an impact. Okay, Stevie Lynn, take care.
All right, Stevie, thank you very much. We appreciate it. Okay, moving right along here. Who's next? We have Donna Lynn.
Okay, Donna.
She was born April 14th, 1963. She was born in Gilbert Plains, Manitoba, Canada.
Wow, Gilbert Plains.
So I can imagine Donna is very polite.
I don't know. I've known some feisty Canadians.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
Especially Donna Lynn. Because Donna Lynn, your color is blue. It's that color of oneness. So what happens when you have that merging of energy, that wonderful oneness where you actually see all things simultaneously, good things, bad things, amazing things, not so amazing things. It freezes you in time and space at first, because you don't know which way to turn. If you do this corner, you see hideous things. If you do this corner, you talk to God. It's crazy. But after a little bit of getting used to it, you can begin to see the plan. It's like looking at the stars and then seeing the various mythological figures in the stars. It's almost exactly the same. So you're right at the level, and I'm going to put a big star in your forehead, where you're beginning to recognize sort of the divine plan. In your case, there's also something else that popped into the domain. And it's flying saucers, which I know is weird. So it's a little flying saucer off to the side. This is what I was saying. When you look at people's auras, sometimes things come through, and it's like your thoughts. So I would say you're very taken with the idea of extraterrestrial intelligence and being able to connect somehow. It can also mean that you're a channel. Channels are able to still themselves and then just to bring forth information from other beings. Generally, we all have like 4 or 5 guides around us, and so they don't have to be guides that had a past life here on Earth. They can be guides from other places, because there's no set dimensionality, I guess. So Donna Lynn, I think you're getting information, and you need to be able to share it. So here in your throat chakra, the deep blue, you have another explosion. So lots and lots of changes for you. One of the things you want to do is you want to be able to somehow get it down on paper. And one of the best ways to do that is to sit in front of a computer and kind of focus off to the side and ask a question like, who's here with me? And then just start typing. You don't, if it comes out garbled or it's backwards or there's no punctuation, don't worry about it. You'll get better and better as time goes on with this, but you would be a very good psychographer, which is one of the highest forms of channel that there is. So this is a little weird. You also have, you know which questions to ask. So you have a huge amount of intuitive energy down in your gut. So that means that before you sit down at the typewriter, you want to know the question of the day, sort of. What are you thinking today? What's the thing you're tossing around in your head? And then you want to ask the guides about that. You can then post the answer online. I'd love to see you post on our website. That would be great. So it's the Intuitive Angel Radio Show. Go ahead, post. I love it. And then share with us what they say. It does not mean that you go and you activate what they say right away. And if you're ever uncomfortable in any way, shape, or form, if they say anything that makes you uncomfortable, you disconnect from them. And you put everything aside and you take some deep breaths and you don't try again for a week. I really mean that, because there are discordant spirits that can hook up with you, and you don't ever have to be a victim of them. You are in charge. And so I want you to bring forth beautiful things that are going to help us to move forward. Take care.
All righty, very good. Thank you, Donna. They're a very polite person, I'm sure.
You said that already.
I know. I said it again.
No, it's like you're remember records and they get scratched.
I love Canadians.
Okay.
Anyway, everybody, hey, just want to remind you guys, hi, it's me again.
Hey,
I'm the voice over there. Yeah, don't forget, if you would like the full reading.
Come here. Look, see, Dave has a normal haircut. Isn't that great? So those of you who know Dave, please send him a little love.
Hi, yes, I got my ears
Normally got his ears lowered. It's so good.
Okay. But don't forget, everybody, of course, that if you would like this to be done for you in the full whole darn thing, all you have to do is call 630-554-5040. Call or text, and we'll get you set up with an appointment with Amy.
Okay.
She's really inexpensive. I wouldn't say you're cheap. I wouldn't say that.
$75 for an hour, $40 for a half hour, so it's affordable.
You can't beat that. You can't
Affordable,
beat
not inexpensive.
All right, Angela's next. She's from California. Doesn't give us a hometown, but we'll do our best.
Okay.
September 28th, 1972.
Okay, Angela, you have a color that we haven't had yet. It's a lime green color that moves from your heart and into your throat. So lime green is a combination of, it's makes for a very good speaker. So it takes the tribal beliefs that people may have, that kind of a traditional green heart energy, but it infuses it with the yellow energy. So the yellow energy is that energy of good contracts, promises, and vows. So I would say that you'd make a very good spiritual trainer, personal trainer, someone to help people to move forward, because you have a very deep understanding. So you'll see in the gut, you have a deep understanding of how the outside world sees not only you, but others. And you have the ability to take it and then move it into your throat chakra and express it. So if you're not actually doing this for a living, then A, you should be. B, you're probably doing it for free, because you're probably telling everybody what to do, or trying to deeply understand their situation. And I'm going to do one more for you, because you have like a bee's nest of intuition around your head. I'm just going to do 3, but there's like 12. And so there's different kinds of intuition. So you've triggered something. So when you're talking to people and trying to align them the way they should be, right? You get these like head rushes, and you say, oh, you might try this, or oh, you might try that. So you'd actually make a dynamite psychic, but a personal counselor, a personal coach, someone who can look at something that people are doing and suggest that they do it in a slightly different way that's going to benefit them more. That's really what you should be doing, because you're fabulous at it. Okay, take care.
All right, Amy, can you we hold this up again?
Okay.
I just want to see who does your artwork.
Isn't that beautiful?
I mean, look at that.
That was Archangel Gabriel.
That is a masterpiece of very strange artwork. Okay.
Well, you know, when I first started out, I had that
That's
Da Vinci.
Chakra Guy, right?
Yeah, that's Chakra Guy. I had like that Da Vinci man, you know, when he's got his hands up in the air and everything, all anatomically correct. But to tell you the truth, intuition, doing readings, interacting with you is fun. It's fun. So the Pillsbury Doughboy kind of a thing works just as well as something that's really intensely beautiful. I like it to be simple and fun and childlike, and so that's what you get. So there.
We got some laughs on the emojis there. Okay, cool. All right, don't forget, everybody, if you'd like your little drawing here, all you have to do is text Amy at 630-554-5040, and make sure, because if we don't have you in the system, we don't know your first name. So make sure you put your first name in.
Yeah, so we know who you are, so I can take a picture
which one
and
you
send
are.
it to you.
Okay. Next up we have, who's next? We have Jenna.
Okay, Jenna. We're going to do your
Jenna.
first.
Okay, Amy. She was born in Fort Lee, New Jersey. And what is this, Amy?
10/8. 5/10/82.
Oh, that's a 10? Okay. It's your handwriting.
5/10.
82. Okay.
Okay, Jenna. Yay for you. You have intuitive energy around you, but it's that pink kind of intuitive energy. So that means you really don't know what's going on. You're probably in a whirl right now, trying to decide, should I go or should I stay? What should I do? Yeah, honestly. The truth is that it's always good. Back in the day, they had what they called the IBM chart, and it was pros and cons, and so you write the pros and cons. So one of the things when you have emotional decisions you're making is you might want to put the pros and cons underneath each of the emotional decisions. So should I stay? And when you say should I stay, it's like give it a time. Should I stay for a year? Should I stay for 5 months? So give it a time, not like a forever thing. And should I leave? Give it a time. Should I leave this month, next month? When should I leave? And then you just do the pros and cons of doing each of them. I'll tell you, there's always solutions that you don't see that you regret after you've made the decision. So it's good to err towards staying with it until you've found that you've learned what you need to learn. That doesn't mean that you ever have to put yourself in danger. So if you're in an abusive situation, either at work or at home, you want to move away from that abusive situation immediately. I take the decision making off of you. There's no reason anybody should be abused. One of my people that comes to class said something very interesting, and that is she had a very abusive relationship, and she said every time he would knock on the door and she would answer the door, her stomach would get all in knots and she would get all freaked out because she knew she was going to be abused. Every time he would call, she would see his name come up and she would get really sick because she was going to be abused. And then somebody told her, well, why do you answer the door and why do you pick up the phone? You're letting Dracula in, you're letting it in. So that's the same thing for you, Jenna. Don't pick up the phone or answer the door if it's an abusive situation. You will be fine if you don't, because it's too much of your energy seems to be being spent on worry. The next thing is you have an explosion of yellow, which is good news. It means that there's a very good contract coming, and it's off to the side, so yellow is really hard to see. This may mean that you have stomach issues, because when it explodes like that, you maybe are eating too little or too much, or you get heartburn. But that's going to resolve itself because there's going to be a wonderful opportunity that's coming, and let me look, February, March, sometime in April. And sometimes when you have these wonderful things happening, you're not ready. The wonderful thing happens, and then you go like, I don't know, I haven't made my decision yet. I would say go with the reality of the wonderful thing, and if you haven't made your decision, just sort of put that decision to the side and go ahead and take this opportunity. It's going to be a very, very good opportunity. And next, this is strange because it looks like you're very musical, so there's like musical notes off to the side. So in your case, it would be singing or listening to music that's going to open up your center of willpower. So if you're going to work, playing music in the car, if you're at home, playing music at home, singing along, you'll find that within a couple of weeks, you'll be able to make better and more powerful decisions, and you'll be more sure of them because you're going to open up this throat chakra. Okay, take care, Jenna.
All righty, that was number 12.
Very good.
Wow,
I'm so
we're
excited.
doing pretty good.
That was
First
good.
time doing that. That was outstanding. Well,
I hope you guys liked it.
Well, everybody, we're not done yet. Now we got your we got your 1 card 7-day readings now for the rest of the people. Because you see, they take a bit of time, and we're and the show's on until 8:30. So we got Diane, Sharon, Doris, Rhea, Melissa, Ute, Danielle, Sheila, and Judy.
All right. Now let me explain
order.
the difference between the cards and the drawings. And the answer is there's no difference. When you use cards as a psychic, although certainly those people who really know tarot, they really know something. They're pretty wonderful. But when a normal psychic picks up a card, it's like an omen. It triggers something inside of you and creates a flow so you can talk. When you just do 1 card, I like to just do it for 7 days. So it's between now and next Wednesday. That's the energy that's going to be playing in your life. So it's sort of like the song that's on, and if you ever get an earworm, they're called, if you ever hear a song again and again, it's sort of like that. That's going to be the song for you. And then when I look at the card, I'll be able to know what it means for you. Okay? Okay, who's next?
Okay, next up we have Diane Lynn. Diane Lynn was born August 24th, 1959 in Chicago.
Okay, so Diane's card is one, it says inner peace. For Diane Lynn, what that means is when you're in decision-making mode, so to speak, you can get your knickers in a knot to the point where you can't make any good decisions. It's so hard to be able to see into the future and to see what's right that you need to take a sabbatical. And I have found for myself that getting some sleep, before I always took great comfort in working hard. It gave me a chance, gave me a reason to wake up in the morning, kept me away from worry, etc. And then I realized that I had learned how to work so hard that I didn't have a chance to have a personal. Oops. So I have to have a personal now. So when I have that personal, I take some time for myself, like I take a whole day off and I just read a book, or I don't even move. I have a nice chair in the bedroom. I don't even necessarily move out of the bedroom, and that's what you have to do. Take care of yourself for the next week, Diane Lynn.
Okay, thanks, Diane. Next up is Sheila. Sheila was born, let's see, June 10th, 1967 in Burlington, Wisconsin.
Okay, Sheila. Yay. Okay, Sheila. You have to be in the here and now. That means that you have to take a deep breath and do what you can right this second. Usually people who get this card have a tendency to micromanage their future. So you want to do things like empty the dishwasher, or go to the store, or whatever it is that's important right now. You have to be, they used to call it grounded. That's a very important thing. And so when you talk to your angels in the morning, you say, what can I do today to be the best possible citizen of the universe today, not tomorrow or leading to something, but just stay in the here and now, and for the next 7 days, and then you'll be amazed at what's going to happen. Okay.
All righty. Amazed you shall be, Sheila. Thank you very much. I think she's one of the newbies, too.
Okay, good.
I say she was from Burlington, Wisconsin?
You did.
You know where Burlington, Wisconsin is?
In Burlington?
Yeah. Okay, next up we have Sharon.
Okay.
Okay, March 20th, 1970. She's from Aurora, Illinois.
Okay, Sharon. Your card is receptivity. What that means is you have to allow yourself to receive information. Most of us, we only receive the information that fits in our box of reality. So one of my teachers once said, when you have an accident or illness or things don't go your way, it cracks that box of reality and it allows God to come in. I thought that was really beautiful. So in this case, it says, be in the here and now, open your mind to be receptive to the things that are happening around you, and to the, not major change, but to the changes in thinking that brings to you. And it's just an absolutely beautiful chrysalis opening up the butterfly. It's perfect for you, Sharon. Take care.
Okay, thank you, Sharon. We appreciate it, dear. Zap. Okay, Doris, you're next. Doris is also from Aurora, Illinois, December 7th, 1947.
Okay, Dolores.
Doris.
Doris, your card is Ascension, and it's exactly what I've been talking about. It's that moving into the oneness, where actually in the oneness you don't sweat the small stuff. It's all small stuff. You feel, you begin to feel that feeling of being limitless. It lifts you up. So expect that this next week is going to be one that's going to lift you up. You're going to be free from worries about your children and your life and everything that's going on around you. You're just going to feel good. It might be a good time to binge watch something really fun. What is that show we've been watching, Dave? The Ever After or something?
Which one?
The one with the...
Timeless?
No, the one where there's a show out there where the person's dead and she goes to heaven, And in heaven, she's misplaced in heaven, so she
Oh,
shouldn't
yeah, I
really
don't
be there.
know.
I don't know what the name
Sorry.
of it is, but anyway, finding a cute show to binge watch is really good, and I'll figure it out and let you know the next time. Okay, take care, Doris.
Okay, thank you, Doris. We appreciate it so very much. Okay, boom, boom, boom. Next up, we have Melissa.
All right.
She was born June 28th, 1967. And, well, how strange, from Aurora, Illinois. That's a lot of people come from Aurora.
Okay, Melissa, this is just so beautiful. It's letting go. I have a picture painted by an artist, Martin Laborde. He painted it on the night of 9/11, and he has a wizard, and his wizard has his hands up, and there's all these little stars going up, and it was all the souls from 9/11 going to heaven, and he was helping them. So that's exactly for you. When we say letting go, we often think that you have to let go of your problems, but letting go also means that you can help others, that you can let go with your need to have things be the way you want them to be, and you can just begin to let go and uplift the others around you. So it's going to be a wonderful week of that letting go and helping others. Take care.
All righty.
I love that card.
It's a great one.
Yeah.
Good going there, Melissa. Next up, we have Ute.
Oh, Ute.
She was born in Lockport, Illinois,
Hi, Ute.
October 25th, 1953.
Okay, so she has the card of infinite potential. That means that she's actually reached that place where you can be limitless, where you can change your life around entirely. And Ute has, I happen to know her, she has a lot of fantastic psychic energy. So now is the time not to worry about how she's going to use it, but just to begin to use it. And you can see in this card there's a lot of purple and a lot of those beautiful yellows, which is the manifestation color. So Ute, this is a beautiful card. It's time to step on out there. Give me a call and I'll help you. And it's the next 7 days are going to be very exciting for you.
Okay, thank you, Ute. We appreciate it very much. Got just a couple left, Amy.
Okay, that's really good.
All right.
Okay, so 2 more.
All
Good.
right. Next up, we have Danielle. And she was born June 28th, 1972, West Columbia, South Carolina.
Okay, Danielle, it's the health card. Just like I said earlier in the show, I had the dream and I woke up and I could walk. And I mean, I'm not kidding. It might not be the best, most feminine, wiggly stride, but I'm walking. The same thing happens to you. As far as your health goes, you want to just take a deep breath and ask for help. Ask for the angels to come through and help you. If you have no health issues whatsoever, if you're feeling wonderful, ask that they keep it that way. Ask that you be able to extend that good health for the next 10 years. But work on it. Actually ask and work on it so that you can have all the energy you need to move forward. The bottom of the card is just like I talk about the intuition. So it's when you have good health, your intuition will just flow and you're going to reach enlightenment. So it's very, very beautiful. So the next 7 days, only 7 days, and you'll get that wish coming true. Okay, take care.
All right, there you go, Danielle. And let's see, we have Rhea.
Okay, Rhea.
Rhea was born in Salem, Illinois, October 7th, 1969.
Wow, this is a beautiful card. It's discovering the door to the infinite. What it means is you are so much more than your hopes and desires and thoughts. That there is, for every thing you wish, for every thought that crosses your mind, there are 100 different variations. And so one of the ways to do that is if you, okay, we're reconnected. Say you have, you want to go back to school. So there's a noun that says school, and you see homework, and you see papers, and you see writing checks and expenses and everything like that. But school also can be a lot of other things. It can uplift you. It can teach you new things. It can help you to come out of yourself. It can help you to realize that there's other dimensions to explore. So anything that you're believing right now, you want to open up the doorway to look at it through all kinds of different lenses. So it's good to put down the nouns that run your life and then open up the doorway around each noun and see everything that it can bring to you. And so this card says that you're going to become infinite. There's going to be so many exciting things that you can do in the next 7 days. Keep a list because it's going to be a little arduous with all the things. And then you can use your intuition, the purple here, to pick which one honors you right now. Okay, we're going to take care.
All right. Have a good 7. No, we're not.
Ah!
No, we're not. But I want to remind everybody, if in case you're just joining us, don't forget tomorrow, which is Thursday, the 2nd of February. Tomorrow, of course, it's Amy's mediumship and psychic development class from noon till 2, and she'll have a repeat of this class the next day, Friday, February 3rd, from 7 to 9. And it's by donation. There's no charge. All we ask is that you dig deep and you get us a little and help
Throw
us
something
out.
in the basket.
Just a little something for the lights. And it's going to be on a great new meditation method that Amy learned. It's like 5 to 10 minutes a day, and it helps you make better decisions, right?
Well, one of the things that when I learned to meditate, and so those of you who have been around for a while, you might have learned the same way it was. You had to blank your mind, and you raise up with this blank mind, and you think of the great nothing. That's all you think of. There's nothing in front of you, nothing.
But I do that all the time.
No, that's called cerebral flatulence. This is different.
Oh, okay, sorry.
What this new meditation does is it's not so arduous. So if you're the kind of person who closes your eyes and wonders what to have for dinner, or how you're going to pay the bills, or whether or not somebody loves you, that's okay. It doesn't make any difference. All you have to do is follow breath, and then follow a few little rules to move you ahead as far as this goes, so that you will be able to do meditations that can change your life in just 5 or 10 minutes a day, and you'll become very addicted to it. Just like we brush our teeth every morning, you'll sit down before you have your coffee and give yourself 5 or 10 minutes just to do these meditations, and you'll be amazed because it brings more abundance, clarity of thought. It frees you up from depression. It'll get you to sleep, because many of the people who are watching this show probably don't sleep very much, because that's typical of intuitives. But it'll get you to a long, wonderful sleep. So meditation is really important. And yes, I'm hearing you all yell at me. I'll figure out a way to do it online. No worries. Okay.
Coming up. Again, but don't forget, that's tomorrow, February 2nd from noon till 2. And then Friday, repeat class, February 3rd from 7 to 9 p.m.
Okay.
Okay, Judy, you are the last one tonight. Thank you so much for hanging in there. We appreciate it. Judy was born April 8th, 1962, from Weehawken, New Jersey.
Okay, Judy. It's a higher thought. When you reach that enlightenment, that's at the end here of the table. And so that place of oneness we talked about, which looks like you've already achieved that. Once you get into that place of oneness, you realize that you don't have to put up with a world that looks the way it looks right now, that you can become limitless. You can actually become one with the energy of the world. And in doing so, you can know exactly the right thing to do to make things better for yourself and for others. So people who reach that limitless stage, they're not selfish, or they're not trying to make tons of money. As a matter of fact, they find ways to make enough money to support them, but yet for them, time is the most important thing, what they're going for. So it's making enough money to support yourself, but then having time to explore the universe and time to take what you learn and share it with others. So you're at that wonderful doorway. I'm so excited for you. And you just have to breathe. Remember to breathe in and out. And this is where meditation comes in really handy, because you'll trust your instincts on what to do next. You have to clear away all of the things that are holding you down, and you have to be willing to let go of past fears, frustrations, anxiety, distrust, things like that, and open yourself up to possibilities. But honestly, you can do it in just a week, no problem. And then all kinds of wonderful creative ideas are going to come to you, and you're going to do amazing things. Take care. All right.
All righty. Well, there you go. And thank you, everybody. We appreciate it. Boy, you did quite a bit today.
I know. And I love all of you people so much. Thank you all for listening. It's always such a pleasure to be on, and take care.
All right, we'll see you next Wednesday at 7.